All right, we're live, and if I connected everything, we even have audio too. So, tonight, I bring you audio and video together at the same time. So, tonight, welcome not just to the Hoodie Coco moving picture. No, tonight, it's a talkie. That's right. We've moved into the talkie era. So who all's here? Hello, everybody. Hello, Daredevil Dave. Hey, Sparkster. Always nice to see you, Sparkster. Hello, Lowombo 2. Thank you. Thanks for checking me out on What's on Joe Mind. Hello, Matt and Rob, and Beta Ray Bob and Matt. I said Matt already, but hi, Matt, again. Hello, Lester and Peter and David. So, hi, everybody. I'm back. Sorry there wasn't a lot of warning. Hello, Isaac and Iconic Blood and Sparkster. Hey, it's Sergeant Slaughter's Slaughterhouse. Nice to see you there. Thank you for being here. Hello, Photo Viper and Cullen's Hound. Evening, all. How do you do? So, yeah, sorry, I wasn't able to give much warning for this live stream, just because I was setting it up at the last minute. It's been a busy day, is an understatement. It's been a busy day, but I got everything done. Hello, Payne's Toy Samples. Hey, it's Comic Tropes. Hello, Comic Tropes. Thank you very much for being here. Always nice to see you here. Always happy to see you here. Always happy to see your show as well. Let's see, Sparkster says he's about to build a ferret and a devilfish out of Legos. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. A ferret and a devilfish. So, you know, that roughly the same size. And I'll bet you would do a better job than those knockoff Lego people did on those official Lego, you know, things. You know, yours will be better. I believe in you. I believe in you. So anyway, hello, Can Now. Can Now isn't from Sand Springs. I'm sorry. Sorry, Ken. I'm kidding. There's nothing wrong with Sand Springs. That's a joke. Hi, Sand Springs. Not far away. Not far away. Oh, not far away. Hello from Tulsa, United States. The Earth, the Milky Way of the universe. Payne's Toy Sample says he picked up a Recondo in OKC. Oh, and this morning. Really? That's cool. That's cool. I have not yet seen a Recondo. Comitrope says my local Target has lots of Recondos and Outbacks. Mine did not. Mine had some Python Vipers and Bats and Outback, and that was it. See, hello, Matt Edwards. Hello, Rob, and hello, Tim. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Hello, Killer Weezer. I don't think I said hello to you, but I'm glad you're here. How do you do? Yeah, Sand Springs not very far from here. Well, yeah, it's not very far from here. It's farther from where I used to live. I always think of it as being pretty far away, but no, I'm closer now. I've been here for like 2 years, and I'm still not used to being in this location. But anyway, hello, Dan Jammin. Hello, Andrew. The guy's so nice they named him twice. Good evening from Chile, California. Hello from Chile, United States. Actually, it's kind of chilly here. It's getting colder here. It's cold and rainy. It's been kind of dreary today. Hello, McClutlerg. How do you do? Good evening. So yes, so I had to throw everything together at the last minute. What that means is I don't have anything planned, and I apologize in advance. You know, this usually means that I just go off on the strangest tangents. You get these unfortunate windows into how my warped brain works. So that'll be tonight. But yeah, it's just been a busy day. But I did not want to miss this live stream. I also have some news before I go into my news. Hello, Marianne. That's my girlfriend there, Marianne. Everybody treat her nice. Be nice to her. But hello, Marianne. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here. What was I saying? Oh yes, today is Tuesday. That means there's a new episode of Half the Battle. Timmer has a new episode. Isaac says, have I finished the Defiant? I haven't finished the Defiant. I haven't made a lot of great progress recently, but I did run across some parts. Not parts that I needed, but it was a little bit encouraging that maybe it is feasible to actually complete that thing after all. Maybe I should do one more push to try to get the last of the parts to get that thing going. It's so many parts. It's so many parts. Hello, Tattered and Torn, and anybody else who snuck in here. Ken now said the flea market was great. Oh, the flea market. That's right. I missed the... Oh, well, excuse me. I missed the flea market, but I still had a really good time. The reason I missed the flea market is because I was out of town for part of the weekend. Hello, Gray Fox. You did make it in time. Just under the wire. Just under the wire. Ken now scored a few G.I. Joe things. A lot of resellers in there would... Oh, the resellers were snatching things up. Yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunately a consequence. But I do still I like to buy from local vendors when I can. Hello, Christian Bricks. Greetings, Denmark from the United States. Thank you very much for being here. Nice to see you, Christian Bricks. Hello, WWJ8085. And hello, Ratface. Sup. I'll tell you what, sup. Is my new Castleton shirt. Anybody notice that? Anyway, thank you, Killer Weezer, for the super chat. Not much for classifieds, but Big Ben would be the one I would get. Which classified is best so far to you? That's a good question. That's a good question. I guess I'll have to go with Stalker just because that's my sentimental choice. People have been raving about Serpentor, but I don't have it yet. Yes, Andrew, the Defiant is defying me. The Defiant is very, very difficult to complete. It's very difficult. The Lilith says, greetings from Australia. Greetings, Australia from the United States. I believe we have a couple other Aussies in the chat. Marianne says, did I go to Castleton? Who am I kidding? I never went to Castleton. I never went to Castleton. Today is Tuesday. New Half the Battle. He did a tier list, top 10 G.I. Joe movies, and I want to talk about something related to that. By the way, does anybody get this? Anybody get the reference? We'll do a quiz later. We'll see. Anyway, so Tuesday. Yes, did anybody go to Castleton? Any Castleton grads? Yes, how time flies. Own the 12-inch Stalker. If you're talking about the like the Hall of Fame Stalker, I do have that one. I do. In fact, I don't think it's complete, but I'm pretty sure I have one. Yeah. Tim says, heard Haslab Sky Striker shipping notifications are starting to go out. Can't wait. Yeah. I haven't gotten mine yet. Mine said that they ought to ship it somewhere around the middle of January. Well, we are past the middle of January. Castleton is the name of a mall in North Indy. I can't say I've been there. Well, then I guess you haven't been to Castleton. Oh, thank you, Gray Fox, for the super chat. Classified Armor Tech Star Brigade, you in or out? A classified Armor Tech Star Brigade. Armor Tech Star Brigade is not my favorite thing in the universe. However, if they actually did that in classified, I would be so curious. The curiosity would get the better of me, and I would just have to see how. Isaac, congratulations, Isaac. You win the no prize. Free no prize to Isaac. Well done, Isaac. So watch in the mail for your no prize. There is no prize, but that's what you'll be getting. Free no prize. Robo Joe. Yeah, think about like what the heck would they do with Robo Joe in Classified? Thank you someone for getting the reference. I appreciate it. I knew somebody would. And by the way, I mean, this is all right. Small tangent. Okay, one of many probable tangents this evening. Small tangents. I have been looking for a Castleton shirt for years, and my awesome girlfriend got me one. So thank you. She got me this shirt so that Isaac can get the inside joke. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, and thank you for the shirt. That's awesome. I knew somebody would get it. I knew somebody would. If you use FedEx Delivery Manager, I checked that. Didn't get notification. My HasLab Victory Saber had shipped from Hasbro until after I already had it in hand. Okay, that's interesting. My shipping information is all updated. Yes. Anyway, what was I saying? Okay. Timur has a new episode. Chime Chasers, quite one of my favorite MST3K episodes. So Timur did a top 10 movie, G.I. Joe movie list. And I wanted to talk a little bit about Channing Tatum. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second. I did want to provide one update. I wanted to provide one update, and that is on my next review video. It is almost done, meaning that I have not only written it, I have also mostly filmed it. I've got to do a little bit of more shooting, and then I can edit it. It's taking longer than it normally would, mainly just because I'm slow at this right now. Once I get back into the routine, it'll go faster. But there is a new actual edited review coming. It's actually coming, and it's almost done. I'd say it's 50% done. I just gotta finish it. The cat's over there. He's gonna knock something off. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, so yes. Timur covered all Hasbro movies. So he covered Transformers and Gem, and the G.I. Joe movies. Thank you, Comic Tropes. Yeah. Thank you very much, and thanks for the steady support, Comic Tropes. It's very much appreciated. It really is. It really does mean a lot to me. Yes. So there is a review coming. Hello, Kevin Maley. Nice to see you. Rob Irizarry says no MST3K episode is greater than Mitchell. Now Mitchell was an excellent episode. Slovenly Joe Don Baker joke is no slovenly Joe Don Baker joke is left unsaid. Yeah, Joe Don Baker. That they did two Joe Don Baker movies. They did something Justice. I forget, like Final Justice or something like that. And then Mitchell. Joe Don Baker. He was a something. He was, I don't know what he was. Yes. So there's a review on the way, and I just got to finish it up, but I'm trying to get back into doing regular reviews. I also know what the next review will be. I have the script for the next review almost done. I'm not started shooting it yet, but sorry, the cat's up there, and I just please don't break anything. Please don't break anything. So I know what it is, and I should be able to just roll into it as soon as I'm done with the one that I'm working on. So, Robbie Rosari says he believes he is still alive. I assume you're talking about Joe Don Baker, but was he ever alive, really? I don't. Of course he was. I don't know what I'm saying. Yes. He's. I mean, he very well may be still alive. He'd have to be quite an advanced age. Quite an advanced age. Fat Cat says hello from Scotland. Hello, Scotland from the United States. Jeffrey Stalemate Ball says, "Oh yeah, channeling Kool-Aid Man." Oh yeah, I could go for some Kool-Aid right now. Cherry, that's my favorite color, my favorite flavor. So I go for some cherry Kool-Aid. That'd be all right. Onyx says, "What's this fake classified list going around?" I don't know. I don't know. That's news to me. But everything would be news to me because it's been a really busy week. Not one of the reasons it's been busy is because I've been trying to get a video done, and I've been making progress on it. So Isaac said he found a spare umbilical cord for the Defiant. That's great. That's a really rare part. The umbilical cord is basically like an electrical wire, which you can get. They like it's the same kind you can get at a hardware store, but it's you don't want to get a fake one. You want to try to like get one that actually came with the ship, and that is a part that is difficult to nail down. But I do have an authentic umbilical cord for the Crusader, and I think it's the same as the one with the Defiant. I'd really like to find out, though. I'd like to find out if the umbilical cord for the Crusader matches exactly with the one from the Defiant, or if there are any minor differences. But so far, I haven't been able to find anybody who has both that can compare them. The Killer Reezer, thank you for the super chat. He says Jodan has a long list of movies: Bond villain, the original Walking Tall, and Governor in Dukes of Hazzard movie. Yeah, he did, like, he had an extensive career. He did. That's and as an actor, I guess you would say that's successful. That's pretty successful as an actor. What I'm saying is he's a character. That's all. He's an interesting character. The umbilical cord feed technology to the shuttle before the hangar gives birth. Yeah, see, that's what it's there for. Kevin did a video about the Defiant. I don't think he got to the Crusader. It very well may be that the umbilical cords are interchangeable, but I'd really like to find out for sure. Hello, Chromius, and hello, Stonegate Creations. Thank you very much for being here. So, what was I saying? So there's a video coming. Timmer did his thing today, so check out the new Half the Battle. Let me look something up real quick. One second. Talk amongst yourselves. See, I don't have anything to open for you. I don't have anything planned. I have nothing planned. Let's see. All right, yeah, okay. So let's talk a little bit about G.I. Joe movies. That's a topic. That's a topic. MST3K could have riffed on any of the G.I. Joe movies, honestly. They're all very riffable, and I have done. So, it's There's a lot of entertainment to be gotten out of that. Any pencil? I don't have any pencils to break. Yeah, no, I broke all my pencils. And good on you for remembering the pencil breaking stunt. Let's see. Yeah, so yeah, I want to talk about Channing Tatum a little bit. I was trying to pull up this this story where he has some things to say. That's not it. Anyway, so just kind of spinning off of Timmer's video today, doing like top 10 Hasbro movies, covering, which included, the G.I. Joe movies. Hello Seymour, hello New Zealand from the United States. It's funny, I was just showing Marianne Flight of the Conchords. That's a coinky-dink. But welcome Kiwi, to the show. Thank you very much for being here. But before we get hello, Peg Warmers. Nice to see Peg Warmers. Almost forgot something. Look, I don't have any show notes. I'm flying by the seat of my pants here. Thank you to What's on Joe Mind for having me on their show on this last Friday. You can catch the replay on their channel, so look for What's on Joe Mind or WOJM. And thank you very much for having me on the show. I was always a big fan of their show for a long time, so it's really kind of a trip to be able to be on theirs. I'm always happy to be invited. Thank you so much. So check out that. Check out the replay there, and check out their other episodes. And Peg Warmers, I will be on an unspecified future episode of Peg Warmers. We're working on it. But thank you, Peg Warmers, for being here as well. It's always nice to see Peg Warmers. We got some friends here. We got some friends in the show. That's awesome. Thank you, Rob. I really appreciate it. And I think you've got a really good show and a really good group of folks there. I wanted to mention something. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but G.I. Joe fans are aware that there are a lot of movies out there, especially 80s movies, that are almost G.I. Joe movies. Movies such as Predator. The first Predator, where Jesse Ventura is sort of like Recondo, and Carl Weathers is sort of like Stalker and all of that. And then there's Megaforce. Megaforce is a sort of G.I. Joe movie where it's like this international action team that has goofy vehicles and these, silly, jumpsuit uniforms and all of this. Again, sort of a G.I. Joe movie, but not called G.I. Joe. It's called something else. It has different characters, but you can certainly see, how you can see some influence in there. You know what I'm saying? Oh, hello, JoeFan84. I don't know if I said hello to JoeFan84. Hello, JoeFan84, and I'm sorry if I missed anybody else. Hello, Gabe. Thanks for being here. Team America, in a way, I think Team America, I think, is some influence, but they were obviously trying to copy those 70s marionette TV series from the UK. I can't, Thunderbirds and those. So I think that's what they were going for. But obviously Team America, there's a little bit of an influence there. Hello, Space Cobra. Live question mark, because Are any of us really live? Yes, the answer to that is yes. I left the question just so you could contemplate it, but the answer is yes, we are in fact live. But here's the thing about these movies, these almost G.I. Joe movies. As a fan going back to when I was a kid, I want a good actual G.I. Joe movie. And these almost G.I. Joe movies do not satisfy me. It's not good enough. It's not close enough to G.I. Joe to be an almost G.I. Joe movie. Hello, Stonehenge, Kenton. Greetings to Canada. Greetings, Canada, from the United States. Thank you very much for being here. It's really cold here right now. It's starting to feel like Canada. But thanks for being here. Thank you very much. You got in here just for the discussion, just in time for the discussion about G.I. Joe movies. So, yeah, that's the thing. An almost G.I. Joe movie is not close enough to a G.I. Joe movie for me. It just doesn't cut it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so it's cool to watch The Predator and think, hey, you know, this could be G.I. Joe. And it's fun to watch Megaforce and think, hey, like, you know, early era G.I. Joe, that kind of as a fun movie, right? Yes, it's fun to look at it that way, but no, I want an actual G.I. Joe movie that is good, with the actual characters in it and the actual storyline, and I want the actual G.I. Joe. Well, we've gotten a few. We've gotten a few movies. We got the animated movie from 1987, did not make it to theaters, released directly to home video. Hello, Rob. Thanks for being here. Oh, hello, White Vegeta. Nice to see you. Didn't see you come in. Hello, Terrence. Anybody else I didn't see come in? Hello, anybody who happens to be here. What was I saying? So yeah, we got the 1987 animated movie. We got Rise of Cobra. Cat is really. Please don't break anything. Everything over there is expensive and hard to replace. Oh, hey, yeah, come over here, or don't, whatever. Then we got G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra, and this is something where I wanted to talk a little bit about what Channing Tatum said. I was not a big fan of G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. It was made during the Hollywood writers' strike, so the writing on it is not what it could have been, not what it should have been. Hello, Oscar. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you. I'm glad you liked the videos. Thank you very much. Spy Troops. I don't know if I should count like all of the direct-to-video things. And if I don't count the direct-to-video things, then I guess I wouldn't count the 1987 movie either. But, I mean, if we're limiting it to theatrically released movies, we have 3. We've got Rise of Cobra, we've got Retaliation, and we have Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins. Let's talk about each of those. But we will say that basically what Channing Tatum did this lie detector thing for this article, you know, where they hooked him up to a lie detector and then asked him some questions. By the way, lie detectors, that's junk science, so there's a reason why those aren't admissible in court. That's not that's kind of not, doesn't really work, but as a gimmick for a an interview of a celebrity, okay. But he basically talked about how much he really disliked being on, or in the G.I. Joe movie. He said he was told that he was going to do G.I. Joe because he was in a 3-movie contract, and they told him he had to do it. He wanted to play Snake Eyes, but he said, no, you're playing G.I. Joe, meaning Duke. He played Duke. and he didn't really want to. He's Rise of Cobra earned negative reviews, but it grossed over $300 million at the box office. So it financially it made some money. Oh, and that's the last of the article. But anyway, the point is he turned it down a whole bunch of times, didn't want to do it, and wanted to be killed off within the first 10 minutes of the sequel. He just did not want to be associated with the franchise anymore. Well, and that's I'm not a big fan of the Rise of Cobra movie. We did talk about this a little bit when on What's on Joe Mind. I can have a little bit of sympathy for that because it should have been a better movie. It should have been written better. It should have been more accessible to both fans and non-fans. It just should have been better. I still don't know that Channing Tatum was the best choice for Duke. I think the character of Duke is just a bit older, but Duke is a recognized character, and they will, they'll cast the younger guy for it. But he played Duke, all right, fine, whatever. But my put that kitty on a cardboard tank and let him defend the neighborhood. See, he would. Well, he might terrorize the neighborhood. I don't think he's defending anything. He's a little terror. He got his collar off. I don't know if anybody noticed, but we can't keep the collar on him. He keeps getting it off. We'll have to do something about that. Anyway, thank you, Seymour. Thank you, Seymour. Careful. Anyways, so I'm of two minds. First of all, he had to be in a movie that, frankly, I didn't think was all that good, and a lot of people didn't think it was all that good. But not everybody agrees with that. Some folks really liked it. Now, in fact, I think our old friend FormBX257 preferred that movie over Retaliation. But I'm not one of those. I was a little frustrated with Rise of Cobra. I just thought it wouldn't have taken a lot of effort to produce a much better and more interesting product. But whatever Channing Tatum thought of the movie, the movie did still help Channing Tatum. It still got him out there. It still helped to make him a household name. So, ease up a little bit is what I'm saying. Just ease up a little bit. The cat's really trying to knock my drink over. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Gabe says Snake Eyes film I switched off as soon as I saw Snake Eyes recast Asian guy. Thank you, Josiah. Hoodie Cat has no chance versus Weber Kitty. Yeah, So, but like a cat tank battle, that would be interesting, right? If we could get a cat tank battle happening, people would watch that. We would win the internet if we had a cat tank battle, right? So anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to G.I. Joe Retaliation, the sequel, which took a few years to come out, and it was delayed for an extra year because they wanted to add 3D effects to it. Channing Tatum was in it. He played Duke. Duke allegedly died, even though, I don't think they ever actually showed the corpse, but Duke ain't coming back. He's gone into a permanent coma. He's gone into one of those comas that you don't wake up from. Now he's attacking my hand. That's fine. You know what? I'd rather you attack my hand than attack my drink. That's fine. So yes, we got a little bit of Channing Tatum again. Oh yeah, good one, Seymour. Seymour points to The Expendables. That's another good example. Thank you. But that was not a Channing Tatum-led movie. That was a Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, as Roadblock led movie. And I think that Dwayne Johnson was a much better Roadblock than Channing Tatum was Duke. And I think Dwayne Johnson was a better ambassador for G.I. Joe, for the movie, for the brand, than Channing Tatum ever was. So that was an improvement. Tatter and Torrance said Cobra Commander was legit in Retaliation. Yes, we actually got a Cobra Commander that was recognizable as Cobra Commander. Comic Trope says Retaliation was okay, kind of depressing final act as London is destroyed. Yeah, so sad to see London go. I wanted to go back there for vacation, but unfortunately cannot because it's been destroyed. I don't know if you got the word. It was destroyed back in, 2013? Says, sorry, London. That was during that phase of movies where, like, the stakes were not high enough unless a city was destroyed. If a city doesn't get destroyed, then what are our heroes even fighting for? So yeah, that was a little bit of a trope. Not a comic trope. That was a movie trope. It was a movie trope. Now, Retaliation had its drawbacks. All right, Retaliation had its foibles. Retaliation had its flaws. But in my opinion, it's still an improvement, right? It's still an improvement over Rise of Cobra. The story was overall just less weird. You know, it felt more grounded. The ninja stuff was pretty good. It was better than the first movie. The Rock as Roadblock, he did a great job, and it seemed like he actually cared about his role. You know, he actually cared. So, and that's important. John Shu as the director, who What's on Joe Mind had as a guest, by the way. That was a fun episode. John Shu as a surprise guest on What's on Joe Mind. But you know, he was a competent director, and I think did a pretty good job. And Retaliation didn't set the world on fire. It didn't leave everybody clamoring for G.I. Joe 3. But there was a rumor, though. There was a rumor that we were going to get G.I. Joe 3. In fact, I think there was even a poster made for it, like a banner. But it never came about. Instead, we got a reboot that was supposed to start with a Snake Eyes focused movie and then lead to the larger ensemble movie for the G.I. Joe team. Now, hello, codename New to Avera 2. You are late, but I'm still happy to see you. Thank you for seeing here. Thank you for being here. It's very nice to see you. Kellen says London had exploding bars dropped on it, and I'm remembering. Yes, they had like, it was a satellite thing, and it came down and blew up London, and nothing of value was lost. That was mean. I don't know why I say things like that. I like London. I've been to London. London's a very nice town. I like London more than I like a lot of cities in the U.S. London is nice. And yes, much value was lost. They lost that big wheel. They lost Big Ben. All of it. Parliament gone. They lost all the tourist attractions. All gone. All blown up. Bruce Willis. Before I move on to Snake Eyes, let's wrap up. Let's wrap up a few things about Retaliation. Bruce Willis as the original G.I. Joe, as Joe Colton. Oh, hello, JLS Comics. Nice to see you here. This is great. We have a lot of friends here. That's really cool. Okay, Joe Colton. First of all, having Bruce Willis in your movie, if you can get Bruce Willis in your movie, you just have to have him, right? Because that's guaranteed butts in the seats. That's name recognition, that's star power, that it gets people into the theaters. But the whole Joe Colton thing was a little bit, shoehorned in. You didn't need it. It was okay, but you could have lived without it too. I think there was like a little bit of a nod to the Adventure Team as well in that sequence. And I think that's fine. But I think that if you're going to do that, like, do it a little bit more overtly. You know what I mean? Just, if you're going to go that direction, just go that direction. Call them the Adventure Team. Get your land adventure, your sea adventurer. Get them the camouflage uniforms and Bullet Man or whatever. But it's fine. It's fine. It was okay. Gabe says would prefer. What would you prefer, The Rock as Roadblock or Terry Crews? Cast your Rose. Interesting choice. I think The Rock did fine. I think Terry Crews also could have done well. It would have been a different take on the character. Obviously, it would have been a different take on the character. I'm fine with what The Rock did with Roadblock. I'd be curious, though, how Terry Crews interpreted the character. That'd be all right. That'd be cool to see. Okay. The Joe Colton thing was fine, but not vital. It was not vital. But I did like that Cobra in that movie, including Cobra Commander, actually looked like Cobra. You had an actual Cobra Commander. You had the HISS tank, but it was a new iteration of the HISS tank, a new version, updated. Jumpin' General says it's Joe Fest time. It's almost Joe Fest time. It's Joe Fest time in June. I'll see you there. And I liked the Snake Eyes Storm Shadow stuff. I liked that. I thought it was done better than the first movie. Here's the trick about Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, and the new Snake Eyes movie tried to get it right. They tried to get it right. We'll get to that. But here's the thing about Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow were friends that ended up fighting on opposite sides of a war. So the interesting part of the story is how did these very close friends end up fighting against each other? That's where your conflict is. That's where the real interest is in that conflict. What really both of the earlier G.I. Joe movies tried to do is they made Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow enemies from the beginning. From a very young age, they were fighting against each other. But it's a much less interesting thing to see how two people who always were enemies are still enemies now. I mean, that's a less interesting question. That's a less interesting conflict than how did these guys who were friends become enemies. And that's something that the new Snake Eyes movie tried to do. Yes, Joe Fest. Marianne and I should be at Joe Fest. We got the t-shirts. I ordered the wrong size t-shirts, so I'll fix that. But we already got the t-shirts. But I mean, tonight I wanted to wear Castleton. Well, after all, I did, use my time transport to go back in time and create the dystopian future that we all live in today. Sorry. Little accident with the time transport. Accidentally created the apocalypse. Oops. So then we got Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins. And they could have left out the G.I. Joe Origins. I was on the fence about that. I thought that might be okay. They wanted to make sure that Snake Eyes would lead into the G.I. Joe movie, and they wanted people to connect the G.I. Joe movie to Snake Eyes when it eventually came out, because Snake Eyes was supposed to be it was supposed to be a prequel, basically. It was a prequel to a larger G.I. Joe movie. And I apologize. I'm only intermittently reading the live chat. See, this is the problem. When I go on a tangent like this, when I go on a rant like this, like my eyes shut off. Like I can no longer read. Like I can only use one part of my brain at a time. And I'm using the talking part. When I'm using the talking part, I can't use the reading part. That's terrible. I know. Oh, Marion hasn't seen Snake Eyes. I should show it to you. You should at least see it. In fact, if you haven't seen it, you should at least see it. You should at least see it. You know, give it a chance. Give it a chance. But I mean, and some folks did like it. In fact, I believe Comic Tropes has said that he liked it, and there are other people that liked it too. So it's not necessarily a question of whether you liked it or not, because that's all individual. That's individual taste. I'm one of the ones that didn't like it, but that's just a matter of individual taste. The movie that they produced, though, it was obvious that it was kind of a lower budget movie. They threw some CGI in there. It was a little sketchy. Had some sketchy CGI. Yes, I will remedy that. Next time you're over here, I'll force you to I'll force you to watch the Snake Eyes movie, and then we'll break up. That'll be what breaks us up. So it was obviously a lower budget movie, but you can do lower budget movies. You don't have to do everything big budget. You just have to have good writing, you have to have good directing, you have to have good acting, and you have to put all those things together, and you have to use your budget to the most advantage to get the biggest bang for the buck, so that you are putting something interesting on the screen. You have, it's not so much that you have to dial back your ambition, but you have to be realistic about, like, you can't afford the best CGI, so don't do CGI. If you're gonna, like, having no CGI is better than having bad CGI, because if you have bad CGI, it just stands out. And everybody, like, this movie came out in 2021? In 2021, people don't, there are no excuses for bad CGI. All right, this isn't The Mummy. Okay, this isn't like 1997. All right, so people are much less tolerant of bad CGI than they used to be. So if you can't afford good CGI, then you got to do something else. But if you have good writing, if you have good directing, if you had good actors, it makes up for a lot of that. All right, you use your assets, and it will make up for less of a budget. But that's not quite, I don't know, what we got. I think you make it a genre movie. Like, go deep into the classic ninja movies. I don't know, Enter the Ninja and the Octagon, Chuck Norris and these other ninja movies that were hot and famous in the 80s. And you dig into that, spend an entire weekend just watching a bunch of those. Get the essence of those, and then translate that into something modern, something sharp, something poignant, something with characters that people care about, characters that are relatable. And if you can do that, I think that you can still make a great movie, a movie that people will talk about on a lower budget. But they're really trying to do, like, this is the start of their G.I. Joe cinematic universe, right? This is their Iron Man 1. But there are lots of problems with Snake Eyes, but I'll narrow it down to one. My one big problem, making Snake Eyes talk, casting him as an Asian actor, I can live with that. Okay, I can live with that. I think what kind of killed it to me is that Snake Eyes was such an unsympathetic character. He spent a large part of the movie betraying the heroes and kind of being the bad guy. Ironically, if they had titled that movie Storm Shadow and focused on Tommy Arashikage, focus on Storm Shadow, that was an actually interesting character. That was a sympathetic character. And when he is cast out of the Arashikage clan for breaking their dumbass rules in order to protect the clan and beat the bad guy, you're like, yeah, I'm kind of on his side, Are they the good guys? Are they? I mean, we know that Cobra is the bad guys. But that doesn't mean the other guys are the good guys. They could both be bad guys. But yeah, if they had actually made it a Storm Shadow movie, it might have worked. It legitimately might have worked with the same actors and with just a little bit of change to the story. The whole thing might have worked. But the point is, it's not. The question is not whether we liked the movie or not. That's individual. We all make those choices individually. The point is, it didn't make any money. And if it didn't make any money, then they can't make the next one. They've got no motivation to make the next in the series. So I was hopeful. I was hopeful that they might be far enough down the production line that they've already committed to making the G.I. Joe ensemble movie, and they'll go ahead and do that. But it's not looking like it. It's not looking like it. So it seems unlikely that we're going to get a new iteration of G.I. Joe in the movies anytime soon. And that's unfortunate, because I'm going to bring this back around. Thank you, Chew and Bubblegum, for mentioning Megaforce. Thank you for mentioning Megaforce, because I'm bringing this back around. Right. Check this out. I'm bringing this back around. So, here's I think the value of those almost G.I. Joe movies, like your Predator, like your Expendables, like your Megaforce. And that is, if Paramount and Hasbro are sitting around their offices, they're twiddling their thumbs and trying to think of what to do with this G.I. Joe franchise, and they're like, I don't know. I guess the people don't want the G.I. Joe. We don't know what to do with it. The thing is that other movie studios, other filmmakers, other writers and directors, they seem to know how to do it. They seem to know how to give us these almost G.I. Joe movies. It can be done. Other people seem to figure out how to do it, except for the people who actually own the G.I. Joe franchise. So that's where I'm bringing it full circle. This is the end of my rant, which I've done for almost an hour, and I've hardly even read the live chat. I apologize for not keeping up with the live chat, but I don't buy any excuses for not being able to make G.I. Joe into an interesting and successful movie. It absolutely can be done. Other people figure out how to do it. So yes, it can be done, but like Snake Eyes is one of the most iconic characters in comic book history. He's got all of these wonderful qualities. He's loyal. You know, he's a tough fighter, but he's also kind to his friends and considerate. He's a tragic character. He's good, yet he's had so many bad things happen in his life, and people can relate to that. It's one of the most iconic characters in all of comic books. And if you can't figure out how to make that character into a movie, then your writers you have to hire better writers. If your writers can't figure out how to do that, get better ones. So that's my rant. Thank you all for your patience. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But don't worry about this. You won't remember any of this, because after the show, I'm going to jump into my time transport. I'm going to go back in time, and I'm going to convince myself not to make this speech. I'll convince myself that, hey, this rant, don't do it. Don't do it. It'll take up almost the entire hour just ranting about G.I. Joe movies. Don't do it. But good thing I've got the time transport. I'll undo history, and none of you will remember this anyway. Top Gun. Yeah, people say, like, oh, people don't want to watch movies about military. Top Gun was one of the biggest movies of the year, one of the biggest movies in years. You just have to do it right? You just have to. It's not about the military. It's about the characters. It's about what every good movie. It's got to be about what every good movie is really about. It's about the people and their relationships. That's what all good movies are really about. Top Gun, I don't know, Rocky, Time Chasers. Every good movie is really about the people. I mean, have you noticed, like, the Karate Kid, not about karate. Rocky is not about Rocky. Top Gun is still kind of about fighter jets, but not entirely about fighter jets. It's about the relationships between people. And if you can do that, then you can set it anywhere. You can put whatever dressing you want on it if you can create characters that people like and care about. And if your movie writers can't figure out how to do that, then get different ones. Because G.I. Joe historically has made Hasbro so much money. G.I. Joe made Transformers possible. And G.I. Joe can do that again. It's possible. It can happen. But, I mean, there's a gold mine. There's a gold mine. There's a gold mine that Hasbro is sitting on, and they don't know how to. They don't know how to get the gold out. But by the way, this is nothing against the G.I. Joe brand team for Hasbro right now. I think they're doing fine, and I think they're doing probably everything that the company will let them do. Right? We've got a very vibrant classified line. We've got a whole bunch of licensed product. We've got more G.I. Joe out there of many different kinds than we have had in years, decades even. Well, not decades, but at least years, at least a decade. You know, we've got more G.I. Joe than we've had for a long time. And that I believe that is due to the brand team pushing and fighting to get us those things. And I appreciate it. I really do. I think they're doing a great job. I don't think the problem is the brand team. If they had permission and budget to do whatever they wanted, I think that we would get something really special. But it's not up to them. We're talking about movie studios. We're talking about, we're talking about the corporation. We're talking about people way above their pay grade making decisions about what to do for this brand that they're sitting on that could be big. But they're gonna have to actually. They need somebody who cares. They just need somebody who cares. Well, maybe not. Okay. One last thing. Sometimes it's not necessarily somebody who cares the most about a franchise that can bring it around. Okay? Because somebody can care about the franchise but not be a good movie director. Somebody could care about the franchise but not be a good writer. And one example I would throw out there is Nicholas Meyer, the director of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Nicholas Meyer was not a Star Trek fan. Oh, thank you, The Killer Weezer. The way you pet Alistair, are you sure you're not a Bond villain, Dr. Claw, instead of Cobra Commander? Bring me Inspector Gadget. Yeah, so... hey, look, help me with the algorithm. See, if I have cats in the video, YouTube already likes it more. All right, there you go. You're free. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't remember. Anyway, I don't blame the brand team. I think they're doing everything that they're allowed to do. I think they're giving us as much as they possibly can. Oh yeah, Nicholas Meyer was not a Star Trek fan, but he was a good filmmaker, and he was somebody who could figure out from the source material, what do you bring out? What in the source material is good that you bring out? And what do you change to make it more modern, to make it appeal to a wider audience? This is what Marvel has done. If you look at the Marvel movies, I mean, they draw from comic book source material, but they're not exactly like the source material. Oh, Australia says, or Rob says, shout out loud, Australia Day tomorrow. Australia Day, a happy Australia Day, Rob, and all of the other Australian folks in the chat. Congratulations on Australia Day. Maybe I'll just celebrate Australia Day tomorrow myself. So yeah, like maybe you don't necessarily need somebody who cares deeply about the franchise, but you need somebody who cares deeply about producing a good product. Somebody who's competent, somebody who knows what they're doing, and even somebody who has a little bit of artistry to their skill. And if you have that person, even if they're not a G.I. Joe, even if they've never heard of G.I. Joe, they can figure out how to make something out of it. It's a very rich source of material. So yeah, if your writers can't figure out how to do that, then you've got the wrong ones. That's what I'm saying. So now, that was my rant. That was not at all what I was intending to do this evening. Thank you very much, everyone, for sitting. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. It's now 1 minute until 8 o'clock, and the cat is trying to climb up there. Please don't knock anything off. No, he's all right. He's all right. So anyway, I will say good evening. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back next week with the live show, and hopefully I can get this video that I'm working on wrapped up. I will do my best to get it up for Sunday. If I don't get it up on this Sunday, it will definitely be next Sunday, and then I'll get the next video in the works. So we're going to get back to doing regular videos, and I apologize for the delay, but I'm working as fast as I can. I had to find things. I had put things away. I had to find my camera. I had to find my tripod. I had to find the stuff that I use. I had put it away, but I did find the stuff, and I'm working on it. So hopefully I'll see you guys with a new video soon. But anyway, good night. Thank you very much for being here. I will see you next week, and until then, remember, only G.I. Joe is G.I.